Let's get started. Item SCP-093 Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. See Testing Document 093-TI for outline of testing conditions. 093 must remain on a mirror at all times and under video surveillance. Admittance into the area of 093's containment must be authorized only with proper video recording and subject retrieval procedures in place. Any attempt to use 093 outside of an approved test will be dealt with severely up to and including termination. SCP-093 is a primarily red disk carved from a stone composite resembling cinnabar with circular engravings and unknown symbols carved at 0.5 centimeters depth around the entire object. Deeper cuts are present on 093 with a depth of 1 to 1.5 centimeters. 093 is 7.62 centimeters in diameter and fits comfortably into most palms without abrasion. 093 will change hue when held by a living individual. The colors taken by 093 are still being researched to establish a link. Current belief holds that the changes depend upon regrets carried by the holder. If 093 is removed from a mirror and not held by a person, it will seek out the nearest mirror-like surface. 093 has been observed to travel in the largest possible circle while rolling, building up phenomenal speed. The mechanism of this acceleration is currently unknown. If an obstacle is between 093 and the nearest mirror-like surface, it will use this momentum to punch through the obstacle and continue on its course at this speed. It will only stop when a mirror-like surface is contacted. Despite tremendous impact velocities, no damage will be dealt to 093 or the mirror. Additional notes. No records exist to clarify the nature of 093's discovery or presence in the Foundation. See 093-OD. Since no records exist to explain 093's method of containment, a test procedure was initiated to establish why mirrors must be used to contain it. The results of 093-T1 led to the discovery of living beings, holding 093 being able to move through mirrors in a series of tests in 093-T2 to ascertain the destination reached through this travel. 093 Original Documentation. Item 093 Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Items SCP-093 is to be kept on a silver-lined mirror on a 0.3 by 0.23 meter pedestal at least 1.22 meters off the ground floor in a containment cell block redacted. Objects is not to be contained in areas exceeding 3.66 by 3.05 meters, nor placed on mahogany, pine, cherry, or aluminum pedestals above or below level 1 of containment cell block redacted. Object can be handled safely, albeit gently, without consequences. Tests and consequences thereof involving the containment conditions can be viewed in Section B35-1 of the attached report. Description. Object was found on the shore of the Red Sea, January 30th, 1968, emitting a low sigh and a dim blue gleam. Its color has since turned into an orange mix of red, only emanating a hum of varying volume, whilst in the presence of female examiners of ages between 34 and 41. 093 resembled the documented blue for 54 minutes. Wait. Would that be seconds or minutes? Well, anyway, whatever. At 54:34 at 1:23 on April 26, 1986, coincidentally, when the body of 194-9834 was discovered in research facility redacted. Titles ties between 194-9834 and 093 remain inconclusive, and effects of prolonged exposure to 093 remain unknown, except for infrequent reports of periods in calmness, and in the cases of 242-0049 as periodic waves of depression, loss of balance, and thoughts of suicide. These feelings have reportedly not exceeded 11 days in duration. Objects seem to react in the presence of 242-0056 by turning light, violent, for no more than 209, as documented on March 12, 1993. Effects of reaction remain unknown. Additional notes: origins of 093 remain unknown, and documents of recovery of 093 have since been destroyed in a fire and research facility redacted. December 9th, 1989, reports on the feelings of researchers who handled 093 have remained inconsequential since April 19th, 1995. Alright, 093-T1 Containment Test. Testing of 093 against conditions set forth for existing containment procedures as to access viability of containing such containment, beginning with changing the type of mirror used as a position of rest. Mirrored surface, brass frame, retail grade mirror. 093 rests without activity when placed on the mirror. This test alone removes the need for costly silver or wooden containment systems. Standard grade table. 093 turns upright and begins to roll across the table surface in one direction, making a U-turn and rolling to the other, completing an oval shape, and repeating this action until a mirror is brought into vicinity of it, at which time 093 rolls towards the mirror and lays flatways against it, sliding towards the center. It is noted that despite this grainy feel of 093, it does not mark the mirror in any fashion while moving across it. Two mirrors at either end of a standard grade table. 093 gravitates towards the closer mirror regardless of orientation and makes no distance between different types of mirrors, favoring a factor of a distance above all else in choosing the mirror to move to. A mirror held by a person and moved around. 093 follows the mirror as it moves, gaining speed until a maximum velocity of redacted is reached. Any velocity to impact 093 against a mirrored surface results in no damage to either object. A person holding 093 placing it on a mirror. This test was accidental and the result as of one of the staff tripping another after some debate about who would be covering the lunch tab. As a result of the behavior, one of the researchers, it was discovered that a person holding 093 and placing it against a mirror will in fact move into the mirror. Addendum. Containment test discontinued after establishing that 093 requires only a mirror to rest inert. Testing on human interaction with mirrors while holding 093 authorized by Dr. Redacted. Alright. 093-T2 Mirror Test. Testing Protocols. Subjects testing 093 must wear a Class 3 buckle harness strapped to the chest and attached to a tension pulley system, allowing for 300 meters of movement. Additional spools may be added to extend movement if necessary. The class connecting these spools must be high grade and capable of withstanding applied force of 0.2 tons. A field kit containing the following should be standard issue for testing of 093. 1 wrist-mounted light source with 3 hours lifespan and additional power sources, providing up to 6 additional hours. 4 0.5 liter water bottles with water. 4 MREs of any type plus 2 plain granola bars. Chocolate chips allowed. 1 standard issue Beretta 9mm firearm with 24 rounds of ammunition loaded. This is not to be issued until the subject has passed into a mirror using 093 It should be given under armed supervision, ensuring that the subject passes through entirely. This item is to be requisitioned first upon subject's return, and such should be made aware of this before leaving line of sight within 093's mirror. One standard issue field knife. The subject is not to be made aware of this item and must find it on its own within the kit. Subject must also be attached to a video system with a camera mounted on the subject's head or shoulders. The video device should be cable-based and allow for the same length of travel as the return system. Wireless cameras have shown mixed results and should only be used in testing conditions, where 093 is currently known color. New colors must be tested using wired feed. During testing, the color of 093 must be recorded, as well as history of the subject in terms of their incarceration to identity. How 093 determines the color to assume. A link appears to be connected to a guilt or a lack thereof in the subject's psyche. The attached results should be read in order. Okay, so we got the blue, green, violet, yellow, and red test. So, me and Jerry talked about this off screen. I'm guessing it's not sin, but guilt.
Yeah, guilt would be the thing. If you've done it, apparently, I guess there's guilt behind it.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone would feel guilt, so I'm not fully sure I believe that, but
Alright. Oh yeah, there's one thing I forgot to tell you off screen, Jerry. Apparently 610's article got updated again.
oh.
So you know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, here's the blue test. I'm gonna read all the tests because I don't know what the content farm is gonna do with it, so you might as well just read them. Alright. Mirror test 1. Color blue. Subject is D-20384, male, 34 years of age, strong psyche. Subject's background shows instance of murder/attempted suicide. Subject is cooperative in all steps of testing. Subject entered the provided mirror while holding 093, which emitted a blue color. Outside technicians observed that the mirror retained a true reflection until the subject had completely passed into it, at which time the view changed to an outdoor landscape heavily tinged in blue. Video feed shows in attached media. Camera activates, flickers to view. Subject is looking out over the same field reported by technicians. Looks like a typical lowland plains. Everything has a heavy blue tinge, overlapping with normal colors. No discernible landmarks visible as subject pans view left to right. Only grass, weeds, and a breeze moving the taller grass. No trees, no living beings visible. Subject moves forward as instructed, traveling for approximately 500 steps before something becomes visible. A patch of land up ahead is barren, and grass can be seen dying. As subject approaches approximately 300 steps forward, subject is standing before a hole in the ground. The hole has been dug using unknown tools of primitive origin. Play system engaged, and the camera suffers a light shudder. Subject is instructed to enter the hole, and after mild protesting, agrees to do so. There's no apparent method of descent, such as a ladder or rope. Subject relies entirely on his own hands and a play system to slow the descent. Approximately 100 meters of cable is used before a bottom is reached. Light sources provided and field kit activated 50 meters down when outside sources become unreliable. Sweeping gestures of the light reveal nothing more than dirt even at the bottom of the hole. Subject moves forward with assistance of light source, asks about the blue tinge. Subject expresses confusions and says there is no such tinge from his perspective, and never was. Light is visible down the passage, and 150 meters of the cable has been used. Out of the camera's eye, sound is recorded of the firearm being prepared. When questioned about these actions, subject states justified precaution and moves forward. The tunnel turns from a bare dirt to a concrete enclosure. Subject complains of a stench. The light source is revealed to be ceiling light fixtures, and a series of which with less than a quarter broken, while the others function. A series of 6 doors, 3 to a side span before the camera view, with a 7th door visible at the end of the corridor that has been blocked by what looks like generic metal shelving debris. Debris shows signs of rusting and is typical of retail store units, suggesting other human presences. Subject requested to try doors in whatever order he chooses. Subject tries the first door on the right. Door is locked, does not open. Second door tries to open but does not budge. Unlocked but blocked. Closing second door, third door is tried, same results as first. Going up the other side, the third door does open fully, and light is bright in the room. Portable light switched off at this time. The subject pans camera to inspect the room. Room is bare, no contents, but walls are filthy. Subject states material on the walls isn't dirt, but he can't identify it. It seems to resemble melted plastic, but is brown in color rather than black. Door is closed. Second door on the left side has no handle, does not move when pushed. The hole where the handle was is plugged by unknown material. All doors are shaped in such a way that nothing can visibly escape from the sides, and space for movement is too thin to look through even at ground level. First door on the left hand is locked, but part of key is present and unlocked from stem to the ridges. The back has been blocked off. With effort, subject manipulates key to open door and immediately begins coughing, complaining of a stench. Walls of the room are clean as his floor. Ceiling is coated with the same strange brown material as the third room. In this room, there is a makeshift cot made from the aged blankets with a pillow, a wooden crate containing open boxes of what appears to have been foodstuffs. Language appears on video as squiggles. However, subject states they simply read cereal. A second crate in the room contains what appears to be empty water bottles that have dried out. A book lays next to the cot, closed, no title or identifying marks. On the wall is what appears to be clipped articles, but language cannot be read. Subject asked to remove clippings for retrieval. All articles but one crumble at the touch due to age. The intact article is put in a field sample container. It seems the most recent compared to the others. Asked to investigate the book, subject begins to move toward it. Audio on the other tape goes strange, and a high-pitched screeching noise like grinding metal dominates all communication for 3.5 seconds. Subject has not touched the book still, and when the noise stops, subject asks Control to repeat request. Control made no request during that time as headsets were removed. Subject advised to leave the room and notes that the door has been closing slowly on its own, and if left alone, will close. Subject advised to leave the door alone and investigate door on the right. Careful review of the following 10 seconds of tape shows that the camera pans. A figure is visible at the end of the tunnel, where the 7th door is. The door is open only enough for a face to be seen through a crack just before the door slightly closes. No details can be seen. Subject investigates the second door on the right with no mention of anything seen out of the ordinary. This door, when pushed against, moves, and after repeated bashings, moves enough to view inside at an angle. A cork board is visible and more articles attached to it. The top of a box of cereal can be seen on the floor, and what appears to be a hand laying palm up. Subject closes the door and pans camera past door 7, which remains closed. Seeing nowhere else to explore, subject requests to return. Subject poses no protest and complains of ever-increasing stench. As subject returns back down the tunnel, his camera feed does not change or show anomaly. The control reports a sudden surge in cable movement, pulling an additional 100 meters of cable through before going slack again and then tightening. Video feed shows the subject ascending the tunnel slowly, while control attempts to verify integrity of the pulley system. Subject requested to stop ascent, but states he is not climbing the rope is pulling him up. Panic sets in on both sides, and subject informed to ready firearm. Upon reaching the top of a hole, nothing is visible on camera, and subject reports nothing has changed in landscape. Then begins to return trip following the path of the cable. Traveling for approximately 900 steps, subject asks how much cable he was used. Control admits they were unsure due to complications, but subject traveled a straight line to reach the hole, so it should be a straight line back. Subject becomes concerned when he states that the more cable is visible now, moving in a 90-degree angle away from a point in the ground. Subject pans camera around full circle slowly. On film, finds subject a crowd of 37 countable figures stand silently. Features are unidentifiable, and they are lacking the blue tinge that dominates the landscape. Panic breaks in control again, but subject notes only oddity as being the cable having an angled path. Subject tugs his end of the table and is taut and does not move. Controls begin to reel in the pulley system and slack rapidly winds. Watch the angled cable movement can be seen as grass is disturbed further down the angled portion from the railing, and then the line vibrates as it meets resistance and emits a twang from the recoil. Subject's camera pans back along the length of the cable, which now appears to slowly bend, allowing more slack, before suddenly all slack is returned and the pulley system begins again. Control Tech requests subject return following the cable path, and screams are caught on audio with panic from the subject. 5 shots fired as subject aims pistol at something not visible on camera. Control reports being able to see a subject returning toward a point of origin, while camera shows fire disappearing to a point floating in the air. As subject passes this point, all cable is now in the pulley system, and camera films only the floor. Control reports that the mirror took approximately 5 seconds to return to a reflection, and 093 remained blue in color until 1 after being recovered from subject. A vile-smelling fluid was present on the subject's clothes around his hands when firearm was recovered. This fluid dried quickly and was deemed insufficient of study due to lack of quality sample. Control personnel monitoring the mirror state, having seen a massive human being crawling on the ground, easily 50 times the size of a normal person, with no facial features and a very short arm reach, pulling itself toward the mirror before it returned to a reflection. Due to approximately fine details could not be made out, but at least one observer noted that being appeared to have been shot from the marks in the otherwise smooth, featureless face. Field test kit recovered from subject containing a newspaper article that reads data expunged and was filed as item data expunged. Okay, so not all tests are long. Okay, just looking.
Okay, I was confused for a moment.
L?
Yeah, Discord had briefly disconnected me from the chat. Like, wait, what? Why can't I hear her?
Oh no!
Oh, the green test. I remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not miss anything. Well, I missed barely anything. Wait, why are you muted?
Someone came in the room, that's all.
Oh.
Anyways, Mirror Test 2, Color Green. Subject is D-54493, female, 23 years of age, average physique. Subject's background shows instance of Grand Theft Auto, second-degree murder of 2 children during escape with vehicle. Subject is cooperative in all steps of testing. Subject enters the provided mirror while holding 093, which emanated a green color. Outside technicians observed that the mirror retained a true reflection until the subject had completely passed into it, at which time the view changed to a farming landscape, heavily tinged in green, similar to the first test. Video feed shows an attached media. Camera activates flickers to view. Subject is looking out over the same farmland reported by technicians. All greens through the video feed are deeper and green tinged overlays, normal colors of objects similar to the blue tinge in Test 1. No landmarks from Test 1 are discernible as subject pans camera over area. Present is a field long abandoned in the middle of which stands the remains of a scarecrow of unknown design. Fragments left are rotted and torn. Nothing grows in tilted land. A farmhouse is visible to the right of the field, large 2 stories. A basement shelter entrance is visible at one end. Subject prepares her sidearm immediately and is asked by control to relax before proceeding. Her heavy breathing dominating the audio feed. Subject takes a few minutes and announces that she's fine, then proceeds as directed to walk the perimeter of the farmhouse. Children's bicycles, 2, a boy and a girl's, lay against the house near the shelter doors. One of the doors to the shelter lay in the grass, torn from the entrance, as evidenced by splintering wood. On the stairs lay clothes arranged in a discerning order, shoes to shirt going down them, belonging to a boy. Subject begins screaming at Control, asking if this is some sort of sick joke. Control assures her that they have never seen this environment either, and to please calm down. Subject takes several minutes to regain herself before continuing. It is unknown if 093 is linking the subject's past with her landscape. After several minutes, subject agrees to continue. Communication to subject is muted and conversation of Control, making commentary about subject's jittery attitude, make up audio for 1.5 minutes. Communication restored as subject reaches bottom of stairs. The cellar of the farmhouse is unremarkable and typical. Several wooden shelves line the far wall containing unidentified canned substances. Broken light fixtures sway gently from support beams. Camera is panned across the basement slowly. No evidence of footprints are visible, and the basement can be assumed to have been abandoned for some time. Subject begins to comment about a stench. As subject pans the area, as a metal hatch is visible in the ground similar to a bulkhead on a submarine with a turn handle. Subject remarks that the smell is at its worst around the hatch, and the dirt around the hatch is noted as being clumped and clay-like. The handle of the hatch is old and paint chipped. Subject coerced into turning the handle, which, when fully turned, opens the hatch. Subject begins coughing at the release of assumed old stale air. When the camera is tilted to view down the hatch, it is a white concrete tunnel, similar to the one found in the Blue experiment, but in much better condition. Subject asks to ascend the ladder and close hatch behind her. After some convincing, subject agrees to descend but does not close the hatch. Overlooked concerns about severing a pulley return system in doing so are acknowledged. Descent down the ladder and trip to the farmhouse has consumed approximately 53 meters of cable when bottom is reached. The inside of the hatch appears to be a bunker ill-suited to long-term usage. It is spacious about half the size of an actual cellar itself, containing three bunks, one for a couple and two for single use. Several boxes of food similar to those found during Blue marked as cereal fill a waste container nearing the hatch bottom. On the beds are two skeletons, and on the floor is a third, lying next to which is a simple 6-shooter revolver containing no ammunition. 3 spent casings are across the floor near the gun. On the other side of the skeleton is bound book in good condition. This is retrieved and placed into a field kit container upon request. The gun is left alone per request from control. Subject examines more of the bunker, focusing on a desk where a newspaper has been cut and is in good condition. Clipped articles are recovered using a field kit container. Little else of interest is to be brought back and is in the bunker as the camera is panned around. Trash bags containing clothing, a few children's toys resembling popular 1950s era products are lined against the wall. Subject is requested to leave the bunker and then sharply asked to wait by control technician who directs the camera view to an area nearing the exit doorway to the hatch. Goes to inspection as subject moves and finds that a small area has been fitted with what appears to be an Ethernet jack, the cover of which has been forced slightly away from the wall by a strange amber-like substance. Subject refuses to touch or collect the sample, commenting that it stinks so bad that if they want it, they can come and get it themselves. Control declines and subject leaves the bunker.
I swear, I would stab Discord if I could. I would stab it.
Oh no.
It's just been misbehaved. Keep behaving. Keep going.
Okay. As subject grips ladder to leave, the camera pans up for a moment. At the top of the tunnel, a humanoid figure is seen peering down. Joel asks subject to confirm figure. Subject states nothing is up there and begins to climb. Figure draws out of the camera view after first rung is touched by the subject, who ascends without incident. At the top of the tunnel, no other life is seen. Nothing has been disturbed. Subject insists nothing was there and closes the hatch, then immediately vomits. Subject coughs and uses a supplied water bottle to gargle, then freezes and asks control as if control is hearing that. Control reports no audio. Subject proceeds to the hatch cautiously with firearm drawn and lifts her head just enough so camera can view outside area. And this is in the distance, approximately 700 meters from the farm. 2 massive humanoid beings are crawling across the landscape. The entities do not notice the subject, who remains quiet, but whose drawn sidearm is visibly trembling. Subject requests to remain still and silent as being moves. They are featureless, facing at an angle, moving across the field of vision, so the faces are only visible for a few moments. During this time, it is clear they have no facial features. The arms they use to drag themselves are short at times and long at others, stretching out to varying lengths each time they move. There is no rear area to the being's all-body design appears to end at the torso. The 2 creatures take approximately 10 minutes to disappear into the distance before the subject begins to panic and begs to return. Request declined. Subject instructed to enter the home from the cellar and not to leave the home under any circumstances. The first floor is entered through the hatch in the ceiling/floor that opens with rusty creaks that cause the subject to pause for 37 seconds before continuing upward and entering a kitchen. A heavy layer of dust coats all items in the kitchen. The refrigerator is left open, all food is spoiled. Adjacent to the kitchen is a living area that subject enters slowly. There's a recliner, a couch, and a television, all of 1950s style design. In a recliner is a laptop whose case also resembles 1950s decor and is coated in heavy dust. Opening the laptop reveals the last moments of its operating system. Faithful OS leaving a standby mode and immediately shutting off. Laptop has no external power source and will not power back on. When asked to recover laptop, it brings the cushion of the recliner with it, the two stuck together. Subject advised to leave the laptop where it is. The inside door leaving the home is nailed shut with thick wood planks. No attempt made to interact with these. Camera view pans to a staircase leading upstairs. Subject ascends the stairs without being asked, and the stairs remain silent to control surprise. When subject reaches the top of stairs, a hallway with two doors is viewed, one on each side, and at the end of the hall, a dumbwaiter is inlaid into the wall. Subject opens the door on left on her own, which opens to a master bedroom. The bed is neatly made, but the wardrobe next to it is thrown open, and clothes are everywhere on the floor. Subject finds laid out on bed several pieces of jewelry and is forced to leave them. Subject begins to protest, then comments that they stink and leaves them alone. Promptly leaving room, subject asks to open the second door. The second door opens and gives a view of shared children's bedroom. Obviously a boy and a girl, given the types of toys and clothes scattered on the floor. There's also a window which subject approaches and wipes with a curtain to clear dust. Subject requested to move camera to the window and does so. The farmland is visible in approximately 40 kilometers from it, at best guess a city. As the camera starts to draw back, it pans down and films the area around the house. Approximately 300 figures, similar to those from the footage captured during the blue test, are visible around the home, all staring up. Subject asks to confirm figures, but states nothing is there. Subject requested to return and quickly agrees. Egress from the house is uneventful. Pulley system shows no erratic behavior. As subject returns to point of pulley wire's origin, a loud groaning noise causes the picture to reverberate. Technicians at control report that they were also able to hear the noise and experience vibration. Subject returns to their point of origin without investigation, and mirror returns to reflective surface. 093 relinquished. Video ends. Return newspaper fragments filed as redacted. Now for the Violet test. Mirror 3. Color violet. Subject is D-84930, male, 21 years of age, average physique. Subject's background shows instance of second-degree murder of a police officer during a drug bust. Normally, this crime, while severe, would not qualify a person for a sentence that would end up with us, but the murder of the officer was especially brutal and excessive violence was used. This subject was uncooperative and had to be reminded that his cooperation would only benefit him. Subject entered and provided mirror while holding 093, which emanated a violet color. Outside technicians observed that the mirror retained a true reflection until subject had completely passed into it, at which time the view changed to a cityscape, urban, lightly tinged in purple, similar to the first test. Video feed shows in attached media. Camera flickers to life and pans around the area. Subject is in what appears to be a modern downtown district, similar to a city like New York. The streets are mostly bare, except for a few cars of unknown make or model. These cars look highly advanced and streamlined. Subject attempts to look into the car windows without being instructed to, but backs away, remarking there is a rank ass stink coming from the areas around most of them. Subject is persuaded to move closer to one car and does so while coughing, wiping off a window, which is covered in dirt. The inside of the car appears to be completely filled with a strange brown matter. There's nothing at all visible other than the brown matter. 2 other cars produce the same results, however the 4th vehicle seems more recent than the others, and the insides are immaculate. The doors to this vehicle are also unlocked, and subject quickly gets inside, then shuts the doors. Subject is chastised for this behavior by Control, who reminds him his lifeline is nothing more than a cable, which is sturdy enough that closing the car door does not injure it, but they cannot recover a person in motion. Subject argues with Control over this issue and pans the camera across the dashboard, pointing out that he couldn't drive away even if he tried. The dashboard is void of any recognizable controls. No ignition, no steering. It has several small blank screens that are theorized to be a GPS system. Subject remains in the car while Control discusses how to proceed, since the city landscape is far larger than the previous test destinations. Control debates the issue while the subject stares around the cityscape from the car. Hey Jerry, why don't you try leaving Discord and coming back in? Maybe that'll fix it.
Alright, I'll try that.
Yeah. Anyways, during one pan, a face is clearly seen staring into the car, eyes watching the subject. However, this was not noticed until post-test footage review. Subject made no comment regarding this entity at any point. Control shortly after informs the subject to remain where he is, and an escort team is dispatched through the mirror to join him. A team of 4 armed personnel is sent through the mirror and proceeds to the subject's location. Subject is then instructed to remove his harness, which is recovered. The subject's video feed then ends and is replaced by a wireless unit used by the escort team. The video quality on this unit is subject to more interference, but in order to mark the mirror exit, a receiver system is placed through the mirror. Subject leaves the car and now travels with the escort team. Given the myriad of possible options, they are instructed to simply move to the closest building and attempt to enter it. This building is S-Class doors bearing the name XEA Research Partners, Inc. And the doors are ajar. A magnetic lock system is present but has lost power. Team enters the building and main lobby. This area resembles a stereotypical corporate lobby where there is a C-shaped receptionist desk with a chair pushed far from it as if it was left in a hurry. A PC terminal is at the desk as well. Team approaches the desk and the camera bearer is instructed to examine the PC. The unit does not appear to have power, and Faithful OS appears on the screen requesting a login and password. A keyboard is present but is remarkably slim with touch-sensitive keys rather than press-down keys. After one failed attempt, the lock screen replies that maximum attempts have been exceeded and the PC turns off. No actual tower or power button can be located, so team moves forward. Beyond the receptionist's desk are 2 elevator doors, one to the left and one to the right, with similar touch-sense keys. The elevator on the left is broken, the doors open, and the shaft empty. The elevator on the right appears functional and has power. Without a clear destination, the team is instructed to proceed to the highest floor to get a lay of the city. All floors appear to be accessible, with the highest being 114, in reality 112, as 13 and 113 are missing from the keypad. Journey up the elevator is uneventful during this time. The elevator does appear to take longer as it passes by 13 and then 113. suggesting the entire floor was built and nothing put on it. At 114, the doors open. A team enters a large lounge-type area. There are many couches with desks on them, a widescreen, apparently LCD TV, of approximately 60 plus inches in size, dominates the wall in front of them with no power. A series of windows are open, allowing in sunlight at the far end, to which the team proceeds and angles the camera outside. The view of the city is astonishing. The building is one of the tallest visible, but certainly not alone in its stature. The city below is gray and silent, no evidence of life. At this altitude, some buildings in the city have a strange brown growth that appears to have been splashed against them, as if a gelatinous mass was flung and then seeped down before the hardening. Other buildings have floors where the glass has been shattered and the same brown substance is seeping out the edges. One member of the team calls the camera bearer to the windows on the other side. From the other side of the building, the city edges can be seen. Attention is pointed toward an expressway that encircles the city, upon which crawls another of the large half-body humanoids, drowning itself with its elastic arms, as witnessed in previous tests. It travels the highway, then moves out of sight. The team returns to the elevator and notes that a button has already been activated for floor 74. No one has approached the elevator, so the team agrees to travel to this floor. On the 74th floor, the doors open and reveal a waiting area to what appears to be a doctor's office. At the reception desk, there is a sign in sheet with a series of names and dates. The dates on the sign and sheet all carry the year 1953. A PC at the receptionist's desk is on and functioning at the user desktop. The background for the PC is a large set of praying hands with the word Faithful OS under them. On the desktop is a series of folders with years on them containing files that, when clicked using the center button of the mouse, open the word viewer. All files appear to be appointment information. On the desk is a notepad titled, From the Desk of Dr. Borsiski, Blessed Purifictionist. The door to the doctor's area is sketched with the same name and title as well as a crucifix. Opening this door leads to a white dust-free hallway that has 2 examination rooms and a key-coded door at the end. The examination rooms are unremarkable and typical of any doctor's office. All medicine cabinets are empty. A small amount of C4 is placed at the lock to the key-coded door at the request of control, and then blown, forcing the door open. The area it opens into a much larger than the reception area itself. It seems to contain a series of large containment capsules. There are a total of 6 of these capsules. 2 are broken, and a brownish amber material coats the floor coming from them. 1 is empty, and the last 3 have nude humans floating in them, with breathing masks. Attached to the front of these tubes are medical charts showing vital signs and conditions. For symptoms, the charts explain of somewhat awkward English ailments, and have seen more like flaws of personality or character, or just incidents that have occurred with the patient. Control asks for a zoom of one of the patient pages on the charts. At focusing, it reads, Citizen Jennifer McCirca did suffer a loss of heart that did lead her to wait with her neighbor twice upon nights of her husband's departure from their home. Patient did submit herself to the Lord's in our hands for cleansing of mind and body. Prayer administered by High Father Unwalken, and patient submitted by a 3-day period to the Lord's tears to cleanse her system, then released in good spirits. Topmost page reads Citizen Alberus Farfan struck out at a high father during a sermon, blaspheming that the Lord's tears did turn his daughter to be unright in his mind and heart, thus laying blame for her whorish activities at the feet of the High Father and his blessing. With no proof of these blasphemies, the forgiving judge and the punishing judge did agree that the Alberus Farfan should bathe in the Lord's tears himself for a week to be cleansed of mind and soul, thus to prove his daughter's ways are fault of not the Father's hands, and to give him peace of self. Subject, who has been traveling quietly with the escort team, now begins to panic. The camera feed pan to focus on him, and he is surrounded by entities similar to those witnessed in the first two tests. Escort team reports that subject is having a panic attack. The control requests them to stand still and wait. Subject screams at the entities which are denied to exist by team commander, stating subject is alone in the corner. Control requests that one team member be dispatched to approach and recover the subject. The escort team member approaches the subject as ordered on the video. The figures part to make a pathway for the approaching member, who lifts the subject to his feet and brings him out of the corner. Figures on the video are then seen closing ranks to close the path. Subject is lifted to his feet by an arm and escorted through the figures that close the ranks when the subject is moved. They remain steadfastly staring at the subject no matter where he moves to. Control requests the team to return now. The team turns to leave. Before leaving, a team member mentions something noticed on the reception desk, a binder labeled the Lord's Tears. Control requests binder be returned as well and is stowed into the subject's field kit. The team returns to the elevator returns to the ground floor. Upon leaving the building, subject points down the street toward direction of entry point. The camera pans to a section of raised expressway across from one of the large torsos is crawling slowly until he turns its features head to look at the escort team, raises his hand to the sky, and emits a bellowing sound. Team leader issues the order to move, heading for a spot marked by a wireless video receiver. The creature on the expressway extends an arm down that stretches to touch the ground before the camera moves to the port. All team members save one move through the entry point. Subject moves through an entry point and mirror returns to reflective surface. 093 is dropped by subject, who panics and tries to fight its way out of the room. Subject is terminated by team leader after he draws the field kit pistol. Team leader requests portal be reopened, but it takes several minutes to find someone who can hold 093 and generate a similar color. When a matching color is displayed and applied to the mirror, the video receiver is visible and all individuals report a horrific smell. Team leader moves through an entryway with control person redacted. The uniform and possessions of the escort team member who was left behind are present and recovered, but the member himself is nowhere to be seen and does not respond to shouts. Member assumed killed in action. And wireless receiver recovered. Control and escort return through entry point, and mirror returns to reflective surface. Later review of the recovered camera shows escort member redacted, grasping at the air where the entry point should be, and turning to look up at the oversized torso. A brown gel seems to drip off the creature as it moves, and that disappears shortly after being dislodged, as if evaporating. Several shots are fired at the creature's face with the automatic weapon carried by redacted that land in the face of the creature, causing a spray of less viscous brown liquid to pour forth from the wounds. Redacted screams obscenities at the face of the creature, descends upon him, and the camera is pushed to the ground. Camera feed remains dark for approximately 65 seconds before light comes back to the camera films. The creature crawling back to the expressway and pulling itself onto it, then crawling in the direction it was originally headed. Redacted believed to have been absorbed by the creature and perhaps digested. This may have been an example of how these unknown entities feed by direct contact with living material. Further study is recommended to be avoided on this issue. Return ledger filled as redacted. Alright, the yellow test. Mirror 4, color. Mirror test 4, color yellow. DCAS subjects no longer authorized for testing. Testing focus has been shifted to data collection after analyzing articles brought back from previous 3 tests to better understand the fate of the world assessed by 093 and determine if safeguards or practices are required for our own world. Analysis of brown fluid on the clothing of the lost escort team member, redacted, has been filed with other recovered articles. Dr. Redacted has volunteered for this test as out of the possible candidates, he was able to cause 093 to undergo a new color change. There is no evidence Dr. Redacted's background of any illegal or criminal behavior, nor of any psychological problems. When presented to the mirror, the view changed to that of an cubicle office environment. For this test, Dr. Redacted opted to use the wireless video system and forgo the pulley system, stating he was confident he would be safe as none of the torso creatures had been witnessed within a building where the mirror's destination showed. Video feed commences after Dr. Redacted has crossed the mirror as with prior tests. 093's current colors, yellow tinges all video material. Video flickers to life and pans across a series of plain white cubicle constructs. Approximately 30 are visible. At the far end of the point of entry is an office module built into the wall with frosted glass walls and a glass door. Dr. Redacted approaches this door and investigates the etched writing on it. Senior Manager Stanley Milamits. The door is unlocked. Dr. Redacted enters the office and examines the desk. A coffee cup is on the desk, a dark brown stain covering half of the inside as the liquid evaporated. There is a donut on the plate where Dr. Redacted picks up and lobs at a wall. On impact, it thumps like a rug and falls. A file cabinet in the corner of the room draws Dr. Redacted's attention, and he goes through each shelf one at a time, stopping in the second drawer and taking out a file, then going back to the first and taking out two others. Continuing to the third and fourth drawers, he withdraws 4 additional files and spreads them out all out on a desk. The files are blue filing folders, and he points with his finger and camera at the symbol on each of praying hands, stating aloud for the camera that all other files are stored in yellow folders. The blue folders are placed in his field kit. Camera action is turned to the PC on the desk and that is logged in and functional. Dr. Redacted comments that aloud, wondering where these devices are getting their power from, as he has noticed no power outlets. This PC desktop contains the logo of Faithful OS, and even has sounds clicks of the mouse followed by soft hymn-like hums and openings of icons, followed by angelic bells. Reso fails to yield any useful information to Dr. Redacted, who abandons it and leaves the office. Pushing the other end of the office floor, Dr. Redacted presses a button on the wall for the elevator and enters, finding he is on the 34th floor of a building having an unusual number scheme. The keypad layout goes from -115 to 115 and includes all floors. Before pressing a button, Dr. Redacted requests that the wireless video transponder be moved to the elevator and replaced with a construct cone to mark the entry point. A second transponder unit is placed outside the elevator, and Control is instructed to recover the second unit and seal the test chamber should something happen to him. Then, when all is arranged, he presses the button for floor -115. The descent down to the elevator is long, consuming 15 minutes. During this time, the camera experiences one malfunction, where the image jerks and turns to snow, restoring it to show 14 other figures in the elevator with Dr. Redacted, as video pans around, all of whom move as he moves to allow him space. They remain for 35 seconds when the camera flickers to snow and returns to Dr. Redacted, is now alone in the elevator dancing as is assumed by the ducks and sways of the video feed. Dr. Redacted pauses to comment of rising stench coming from below. At this point, the elevator has reached floor -108. Dr. Redacted presses -110 to interrupt the descent down and exits when the floor is reached. The elevator doors open to an enclosed observation deck with several PCs and chairs. All PCs appear to have power. The ceiling to the desk is also glass, and above it, another desk is visible. Dr. Redacted approaches the monitoring stations and checks one of the PC screens. On the screen is the faithful OS logo, and a video feed toggling between 4 different views. The first view is a room of tubes similar to those found in Test Violet, which number in the thousands. The second view is a closer-up view of these tubes as the camera glides in front of each to monitor the contents. All tubes the camera passes by are broken. Alright. The third view is facing the opposite direction as the camera glides vertically, checking each observation station. A total of 10 can be counted, and Dr. Redacted is visible as the camera passes by his own station. Looking up, a hovering camera unit with no visible means of propulsion glides up past them. The fourth view shows the ground floor below observation deck, where a single astonishingly large torso being is crawling in circles, bumping into walls and changing directions. From the camera feed, the creature's estimated size is 6 stories. Returning attention to the contents of the PC, Dr. Redacted moves the video log aside to see a simple text editor that was hidden behind it. A printout of this test was recovered and filed in the field kit. The printout directed Dr. Redacted to a safe on 454 and provided a combination. Dr. Redacted leaves the observation deck and proceeds to 54 without event. Arriving on a cubicle office floor, he proceeds to the desk mentioned in the document and finds the safe hidden beneath a desk undisturbed. The combination opens the safe and reveals a notebook filed in the field kit and a peculiar revolver that has been returned as redacted, in addition to the 24 rounds of ammo found within it. Dr. Redacted proceeds back to the elevator without event and returns to 34. Given the sheer number of floors available to explore and the vital information obtained from the observation deck, the test is considered over and the equipment is retrieved. Before returning through the entry point, Dr. Redacted investigates a terminal nearby that has power and finds it shows the exact same screen the one on -110 shows. It is theorized that the author of the note installed a network virus to propagate it through the building so any PC on the network would be found and information discovered. Dr. Redacted returns to the entry point, and the mirror returns to a reflective surface. All materials filed with other 093 recovered materials. Analysis of Redacted and ammunition is to be postponed for reason that it would require deconstruction of one of the rounds, and they may be beneficial until testing of 093 is resolved. Video ends. Alright, time for the last test. The red test. SCP-093 Mirror Test 5. Color red. 093 distributed among staff until a new color could be generated by contact with it. Service technician redacted. Was able to cause 093 to take on a fierce red hue and glow, much brighter than the object's normal color. Redacted agreed to assist with the test of 093 per Dr. Redacted's request. Redacted given to a technician. Redacted for use in this test. When applied to the mirror for test, 093 generates an unknown environment. No color tinge appears present on the display destination, which is composed of red stonework. Technician Redacted enters the mirror and video capture begins. Video flickers to life, and Technician Redacted, known hereafter as Subject, is viewing a large cylindrical pillar that is rotating on its own. Object is of unknown height and appears to be 1.8 meters in width. Holes are distributed throughout the object that at seemingly unknown intervals. On occasion, a beam of white light is emanated from these holes. Turning of the camera finds that the beams are connected to a multitude of objects similar to 093 that are part of the room's wall. Now, the room turns out to be a cylindrical in shape with countless copies of 093. Subject turns back to the entry point and finds it is a section of the wall that is missing. Its copy of 093, presumably on the one carried with the subject. Other sections of the wall on inspection are also found to be missing their copies, leading to speculation that this may be some sort of central array. Subject finds a ladder in the floor while examining the room and proceeds down it at Control's request. The ladder exits into a large, clean room full of computer equipment and appears antiquated compared to previously encountered equipment. Large computers running on reels-to-reels are clicking and spinning at various locations. A light bulb of unknown means turns on for 10 seconds, then turns off. A large CRT monitor is displaying single words in 8 colors at roughly 5-second intervals, while observed the words clean, unclean, clean, clean, lost, unclean flash on the screen. Proceeding through the room, it ends in a large glass window. As another observation deck, this deck looks out over another series of tubes as witnessed before, but far fewer, and filled with a blue liquid. What appears to be electrical current dances over many of the tubes at erratic intervals. At least 5 tubes at first glance are empty and broken. At the observation window, a keyboard is present on the pedestal, awaiting its selection to be made. The options available on the screen are tube status, which awaits for numerical input, reports situation X-549, situation X-550, evacuation log, bullshit, agent redacted report, and facility fire plan. Video expunged. All sections of the generated text were described by a subject and verified by a control member who passed through the portal to recover them. This process took approximately 2 hours, and the video feed was deleted to condense this report. Recorded documents are filed as redacted. Video interrupted. Control lost contact with subject approximately 30 minutes after departure of the control tech. Subject was asked to remain in area and observe the machinery in the containment room to make observations for debriefing. The 093 mirror portal returned to reflective surface prematurely, and all video contact with subject was lost. Control was unable to re-establish due to 093 being across the mirror. A time lapse of 1 minute and 48 seconds was recorded before mirror portal re-establish itself, and subject returned through portal. Subject appeared to be in good health and condition despite the time loss, but spoke little. During immediate debriefing, subject underwent sudden convulsions and medical staff was alerted. While attempting to seduce subject, he displayed enhanced strength and used redacted to shoot one of the debriefing staff, killing them. Guards shot subject once with the sidearm in the heart, once in the chest, but subject did not fall. All staff evacuated the room, but the second shot was fired by a subject which missed. A more heavily armed team member entered debriefing room and used automatic weapons to dispatch subject. Reports confirmed that subject did not bleed when shot, but instead leaked a green-brown substance that seemed to be a mix of solution observed in some containment tubes and the material recovered during Test 3. All further 093 tests have been discontinued. While review of materials recovered in this effect, a secondary tape recording device was found to have activated in the field kit after loss of video feed, and its contents have been filed with other recovered materials. All recovered materials from 093 testing of our Level 4 classification release must be approved by no fewer than 2 Level 4 personnel. Staff with acceptable clearance, please sign up with Dr. Redacted for access to the materials recovered from 093 tests. And this will be the end of it. Alright. Don't have much left to 093. Alright. Recovered materials. All documents contained in this file are classed for clearance requiring 2 signed approvals to be accessed. Any employee reading past this point who does not have the proper classification should consider themselves to be terminated from employment and now subject to disciplinary actions up to and including Force Administration Class A amnestic, immediate transfer to Computer Class Security, and death. Damn. Flute test, newspaper article 1. Only one item could be recovered during our initial test, and that was a newspaper clipping found attached to a cork board in an abandoned bunker. Most of the articles were in a state of decay, but one was firm enough for recovery. Most Holy Father announces progress unclean being cleansed. Rare public addresses directly from the Most Holy Father of the United Lands, the Son, has declared that the blessed militia has driven back many of the unclean who are skulking our lands now. New Rome, our capital, has been purged of the unclean, and citizens are encouraged to come back to their homes. Citizens who live in the surrounding countryside should not return to their farms, as unclean still roam the fields and plains around our glorious city and continue to grow in size. Most militia has built new weapons, which have been proven capable of punishing the unclean and driving them back into the unfertile lands. Construction has begun of a system to permanently close the unfertile lands off from our blessed lands in each affected area once all of the unclean have been driven away. The Most Holy requests that our citizens of our United Lands bow in prayer and offer teeth to recognize the sacrifices of our blessed militia in these troubled times. Reports have been coming in that falsely accused of the blessed militia of having committed sin against citizens whose homes they are inhabiting as they travel bravely through contaminated lands. The Most Holy would like to remind the people that blasphemy against any who wear his mark is the most grave of sin, and unfounded accusations will be punished accordingly. We should work with the support he and his men, however possible, just as he laid down their lives for us. The sinful rebels who... That cuts off. Green test. Newspaper articles 2, 3, and 4. Diary. Our second test recovered many materials to help establish the sequence of events for this alternate world. The diary recovered provided a glimpse into the last days of the owners of the home, from which it was recovered, and may recent activity in other areas of the world as well. Newspaper Article 2. Farms surrounding the city of Silver Feathers have reported being unable to contact neighbors across voice or video feeds in the last week until an approval, as granted by Regional High Father. An investigation cannot commence, but he assures the people that these events have not escaped his attention. Residents are advised to notify their local Blessed Voice daily, so any further disappearance can be addressed immediately. Residents are also advised to begin stocking their shelters and be ready for any situation. Newspaper Article 3. Following the disappearance of the Blessed Voices from several outlying regions around the city of the Silver Feathers, the Regional High Father has declared a concern for the safety and livelihood. Under this declaration, all farmland residents must evacuate immediately to their shelters. Scattered reports of an unclean have come in but have yet to be verified. Article 4. The city of Coruscant has stopped responding to any and all communications. The worst can only be assumed, and our hearts go out to any who are in the region who are unable to hear our words. The city of the Silver Feathers Blessed Militia has reported several incursions by the unclean into the city and have exterminated 4 of the abominations before they can become a danger to any residents. The Regional High Father reminds the citizens to avoid direct confrontation with the unclean. Conventional arms do nothing to the unclean. Only the most holy of implements will penetrate their sin, so do not put yourself in danger. Any citizens who suspect their neighbors indulging in heavy sin should immediately contact and bless militia through designated checkpoints. Diary. Redacted. I have a distinct feeling we're going to die, so I'm going to write this all down. Now, for whoever comes along to find our bones, my name is Herfif Jaculusif, and I'm a farmer. I grow the rab sticks and huskiers. We raise the inks and the ooms. It's me, my wife, Ophiri, and our 2 little uns, Trevin and Listeria. I got this book in trade from the blessed man who came by for food and shelter. He told us to start getting our shelter ready and not to let no other blessed who come in by even know we're here. Says the whole thing break down, nothing right no more. So I does as he said. I got it all ready. We're going down there the next day or so. In the morning, he was gone, which made the wife sad, as he was polite to us, unlike most of the others. Figured he didn't want to be no birder. Liz went out looking for him to be sure he weren't just around the house. Redacted. He didn't turn up nowhere, so I guess he left. Strange enough, Liz found his clothes around a mile or so away, and all his gear, but no him. She left it all there, and that's for the best. If what happened, that I think, I'm clearly no educated man, don't claim to be, but I can put 2 and 2 together and tell you that these things are bad out there. Where everyone, and especially for us, 'cause it's coming way too close. Sometimes you can smell it, that's when we hide. It smells like a leg of meat, and it's been rotten for way too long and just won't go back into the dirt. Even the soil is rejecting them, I guess. Refusing to let them be buried to die. Redacted. It came too fast. We weren't ready. The smell came in the night. Maybe we would have been fine, but the little uns were afraid, so we went into the shelter. Trev was slow. He saw it, kept staring at it as it shambled by. It ignored us until he screamed when I was getting Liz and Miss down the shelter. I went to get him, but it was too fast. I saw him standing up there screaming, and then its head came down on him, pressed over him. He tried to run for the stairs. He tried to get to us, but then in a blink, he was gone, and it pulled away. His clothes fell into the cellar like he vanished out of them. I got into the shelter, slammed the hatch, and locked it. I think it knows we're here now. I'll try to get in Take us too. No telling how long we got. Plenty of food, though. I was wrong. The food was rotten. Something got into it. Or I just didn't notice. We're eating what we can. There's food, but not enough. And that thing ain't leaving. It's trying to find ways in. Smelt the smell coming from the lifeblood plug in the wall. Something seeped through it, and we kept away. It got all hard like a rock. And don't smell no more. Maybe the power in and plug finally let it die. I went up to peek. The cellar is fine. Trap's closed still on the stairs. Peeked outside. We're not gonna make it. There were 10, 20, 30. Couldn't count so many. All going in a circle around the house, looking at it. With those faceless faces and the stink. Oh, the stink. Went back into the shelter. Locked the door. I think I don't want to see my family rot away. I think faster is better. The miss, she agrees. We won't tell Liz. She'll be first, then my wife, my love, then me. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I gave the best life to my family possible. It was them holy ones what brought this. I'm gonna pin this memory in my great pap. He was old and knew stories older than himself. Says those unclean they preach about, those unfertile zones they say stay out of. All 'cause the most holy bringing the world together. Them things are the ultimate sin. Everything about us that was evil and impure, it's them. They don't know nothing but doing what they do. Don't even know why they do it. They just do it. Take us into them. Then we're gone. I asked Pap what they were and he lit a stick, took a puff, and he said, "Don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody who'll admit it. But if you see the symbol, if you see it, you run, boy. You run fast, you run far, and you hide. And you never go back where you saw it. That's all I know. I remember the symbol was on the rock. He kept on his neck under his shirt. Next day, Pap was gone. Nowhere to be found. Dad weren't sad. Said he knew it would happen one day. Pap went gone. Pap went home. See you soon, Dad. Pap. Dad expunged. The symbol matched the symbol found on 093's surface as one of the deeper engravings. Also matched the symbols noticed on the video feed of final tests on 093 duplicates. Violet test. Office ledger. The third test with 093 resulted in an unfortunate loss of security member, but also allowed us to recover a ledger with insight to the medical procedures carried out on an alternate Earth, now termed E-093. Patient Jennifer McCirca, recovery tube 001-1, mixture 35% tears, 30% nutrient, 10% HFT, 25% blessing. Summary. Jennifer McCirca is 20 cycles of age, and during her 18th cycle was a victim of a Hov-5 accident and resulted in brain damage and misalignment of her moral process. She is prone to violent outbursts and can only be calmed down by impure stimulation. Because of this, she actively seeks out strangers to mingle with, and her parents have requested of the High Father that she be set to the tears to mend her mind and body. Patient accepted. During preparation for the tears, subject went into a rage and a tended hand went to recover sedative. Jennifer tore her clothes off and screamed impure words at me, so I locked the door and instructed the hand to wait outside. I am half shameful to admit I laid with Jennifer a total of 7 times before putting her to the tears. It has been very long for me, and her parents have abandoned her to our care, so care for her I will. Before sending her to the tears, I authorized a blessed probe of her body functions and found she is settled now with young, and tests confirmed it shall be mine. I have mixed her bath to accommodate this, and she'll soak in the tears until her body is ready to give life. Patient none, recovery tube 001-2, mixture 9, summary 9. Sorry. Patient Alberis Farafan. Recovery Tube-001-3. Mixture 80% tears, 20% nutrients. Summary: Alberis Farafan is a farmer from outside of city of Silver Feathers who claims to have lost family to the unclean. He confronted with the High Fathers of the city and demanded compensation or retribution for the loss. The High Fathers denied the existence of unclean beyond the Infernal Lands and refused compensation or retribution. Abarius struck a High Father and was arrested and sentenced to a cleansing of the soul. This mixture is primarily tears that seep into the soul and cleanse his heart and ease his pain. The lawkeepers state his family is indeed missing, so a sentence beyond the tears has been dropped in sympathy for their loss. I used the last of the HFT on Jennifer, or I would have used less tears, and it is bad. 80% is higher than I am comfortable with, but the HFT is becoming hard to obtain. I may have to go through the dark. Patient unknown. Recovery Tube 002-1. Mixture 75% nutrient, 25% blessing. Summary: a member of the Blessed Militia who was wounded in combat. Request is from the High Father. Details withheld. Patient redacted. Recovery Tube 002-2. Mixture 75 nutrient, 25% blessing. Summary: a member of the Blessed Militia who was wounded in combat. Request is from the High Father. Details withheld. Patient redacted. Recovery Tube 002-3. Mixture 75% nutrient, 25% blessing. Summary: a member of the Blessed Militia who was wounded in combat. Request is from the High Father. Details withheld. Yellow test. PC printout. Safe diary redacted. The fourth test into E-093 provided us with documentation assumed to be written by a technician in either a medical or government facility. Redacted found in the safe is being considered for SCP classification, primarily due to composition of the ammunition found within it and the advanced firing mechanism attached to what should be a very base firearm. PC printout. I do not trust the Overwatchers. I felt something was wrong years ago. Under my desk on the floor 54 is a safe with a weapon in it. It is one of those used by the Blessed Militia. My brother sent it to me. He says that they are also not what they claim. They have not done things to our fellows even more vile than what the unclean would do. He tells me to be ready to fight. I cannot. It is not me. I do not know violence. I am too frail. You. Use it. Save yourself. Safe diary. My name is Herval Tolois. I am a hard systems watcher here. My job is to monitor the sinful who bathe in the Lord's tears and then make sure that they reach the prescribed dilution time. I have been doing this job for 23 years, and now things are falling apart. I can no longer abide by the most holy. I must speak the truth. We are being told to evacuate. The containment tubes have been breached. All unclean has appeared in the place of rest, and we are unable to destroy it. Live motion footage shows how it came to be, and this is what has unsealed my heart and mind and tongue. I must speak. Should the Overwatchers see this, I will be silenced, so I must hide it. Thankfully, they are ignorant with the hardware, so I can hide this easily. Overwatcher told us we should leave last to ensure the hardware contains the unclean. What that means is we should distract it and die in case it breaches the watching desk, and has shattered nearly all the tubes and destroyed the people in them. I have dispatched the eyes to the unclean, and they have touched it. Bring me back a sample of it. The unclean are not sinners. They are products of our disobedience. I suspect they are us. The eyes have dated the sample. It is older than myself, older than my elders. It was over 200 cycles and ages. 200. The sirens are still astounding. No signal has come for us to leave. I do not think this unclean is alone. I have seen how they can get into places, between places. Is that where they have been all this time between places? The makeup of the unclean is unstable. Molecules detach and reattach almost before my eyes, as if to move the entire thing reforms itself in space and time. Why does it not come up here? Too much effort, or does it not sense me? They have no eyes, no mouth, no face. They cannot speak, cannot see, but they must be able to sense us. The smell is so strong, it comes from all directions. It is not the smell of the dead, it is the smell that comes from something that should be dead but does not know how to die. The War of the Holy Union, I think that was where it may have started. We are united under the Most Holy, but what does he owe us? Nothing. We merely keep society running, but those on high belief, high benefits. This is not how it always been, but now we are told we are pleasing the will of those above us and the clowns. Those great beings who gave us the power to live and prosper, those who have never laid eyes upon, but are told we must revere. Lies, all of it. It must be. I'm using the eyes to create a fluid to oppose the makeup of the unclean sample. Perhaps they will cancel each other out. I will leave soon and store the rounds here. I cannot use the weapon. I am too weak a man for this. I will protect my family with my mind and not my rage. We will be safe in the fields. I know where to go. I will go above now to my family. I will leave the hardware running. I was told to turn it off, but this is where I defy them. It will run. This will watch. The eyes will see for however much time they have. Someone will read this and someone will know. Take the gun, take the fluid, do not listen to the Most Holy. We did, and we are damned. Redacted is a revolver-style weapon with two 12-bullet cylinders. The design of the gun has one cylinder on each side, raised slightly, so that they may flip into the gun itself, then rotate, firing all rounds before flipping back out and allowing it to be reloaded. While the second is usable, allowing a total of 24 shots before it runs empty, there is no firing pin in this gun. But instead, there is a pullback slide mechanism that must be used to prime the active chamber. At the timer of recovering all 24 slots contain a syringe-style bullet with 24 needles on the end. On impact, it is assumed the force of the shot will press the liquid inside into the target. None have been tested. Of express interest is that these cylinders can hold standard .45 caliber ammunition, which has been tested. The gun uses ultra-high power magnetic rail system to deliver the shots, so the gunpowder and the bullet is never used. In consideration is a redesign of a round that would utilize the gunpowder mid-flight to add even higher velocity to the round, or that it would explode on impact for higher yield. A final red test PC printouts. Final authorized tests with 093 resulted in a loss of skilled service technician, but allowed us to recover many revealing documents that can only be assumed to not have been intended for public knowledge. In any world, curious among these is Agent Redacted Report, which appears to have been written by a Foundation employee several decades ago. While these paper printouts were the best material recovered, it seems that the system used to create them allowed for multiple forms of input, including typed and verbal speech to text. Some audio logs of printouts below are available, but must be requested in advance with fully written explanations as to why. This dual input system seems to explain the variances in style between users, as well with assumptions made on the part of the software while performing conversions. Facility fire plan. Any event of any emergency requiring the facility to be evacuated, all clear for staff should report to train station 3 and use their vial to call the evacuation train. Only one vial is required to call the train, and many contain any amount of tears. An empty vial will not contain the train. Clear 2 and 1 staff should remain at their posts until either 10 minutes after the departure of Clear 4 persons or other authorized by Clear 4 staff. Clear 3 staff should utilize the protective garments at their stations and weapon lockers before proceeding to designated crisis areas as indicated by Clear 4 staff. Reports: 3 unfertile zones have increased 25% in size in the last 7 days. Containment teams are not finding any presence of unclean in these zones, but they are visibly confirmed as expanding. Clear 5 level 5 fathers have confirmed breaches in the holy chambers at each of these zones. All chambers found empty. It is believed that the unclean have breached containment on the holy chambers, dispatching additional guard to remaining chambers. Situation X549. Expansion of Zone 64TO have been confirmed. Unfertile zone containment procedures and affect containment staff dispatched to site. This is the 10th report in 30 days, upgrading to situation status. Reports of Clear 5 High Fathers have stopped at all affected. The city of his high word have been placed on full lockdown, and all travel denied in or out. Other cities are now in alert mode, and combat teams are being dispatched to city perimeters. Situation X550. The great land of Hufushia has fallen per satellite images. Entire landmass considered tainted. Outbreak of sin reported in Lavina. And landmass has requested assistance of the Holy Union. Assistance denied due to our own outbreak and mass reportings of unclean. Clear 10 staff have issued the order to evacuate via the gateway, and for all Holy Union authorized persons to proceed to the nearest sky platform for evacuation to Star Eden. To continue monitoring status, gateway keys are being ejected to prevent spread from the center to other space-time vectors. Resurrecting staff are being awakened to monitor and continued reports here as we evacuate. May his blessings forgive our greatest sin. Evacuation log. Evacuation in progress. Shuttle 1 away. Shuttle 2 away. Shuttle 3 error. Release us. Why? Shuttle 3 error. Launch aborted. Proceed to Shuttle 4. Shuttle 4 reporting delayed launch. Overloaded triage protocols. Engage. Shuttle 4 reports passenger limit obtained. Why? Release us. Why us? Release. Why us? What did we do? Why system detecting electrostatic activity, compensating 1-0-1-0-1-1-0-1-1-0-1-0-1-0-1-0-1-1-0-0-1-1. Why were we hurt? What did we do? Why were we hurt? What did we do? System shut down. System restore. Purge of containment data in progress. Why us? Why? Listen. Record 5432-104-392. Password forgive us. 555-444-332. Why? System purge. Bullshit. What the fuck is this place? Slow. Okay. So, LYK. There are people typing stuff here, so I'm gonna type too. Lol. So, LYK. I found this rock in a pond by the house, and it was all kind of glowing stuff when I picked it up. So, I'm LYK. So, oh wow, pretty. And when I picked it up in the pond, up the pond. You couldn't see the bottom. It was this weird room with glowing rock
Right.
things. Long, I don't know. So I'm like, hey,
Right.
I guess fell into it. Oops, and now I'm here and not there. And really, I'm kind of scared. But this place is like a movie set, so it's cool. Well, there's some guy I can hear talking. He keeps asking me to come downstairs, but I don't see no door. He's screaming for help too because I told him to eat me, laugh, and he won't shut up. I guess I could try going back into that. And like he is like, okay, into that room, but it's so creepy in there. I'm sort of scared to laugh. Oh, so hey, I found a door. It's like in the floor instead of on a wall. So like, I'm gonna go tell that guy yelling to shut it up, so I can go home. Oh. Agent Redacted report. My name is Redacted, and I'm an agent at the Foundation. The year in my world is 1972. I assume the same as in this world, but from what I've seen due to 093, life on this world ended in approximately 1954. I have used 093 to visit a number of locales, starting and ending here is in the center. I have seen the landscapes where no grass will grow. I have run from the unclean as they pursue anything they sense. I have no understanding of how they hunt, but I have learned what they are. Approximately 350 years ago or so, this world experienced a technological boom. Ours did not. The source of this seems to have been the arrival of He, a godlike being of unknown origin. He declared the world unclean and full of sin, and the only way to purge itself of this sin was to purge the sinners. A war whoever was left alive was clean. Amazing advances in science was sowed to all the cultures for a period of 10 years to prepare them for this war, and during that time, he disappeared. The war happened anyway. The instigator, the Holy Union of Land, apparently the landmass that for us would become the United States. Records are sketchy in books that detail anything about this time period are forbidden in the world. I located a cache of recorded history by following a series of corrupted computer communications. It seems the primary weapon used in this war for his love was in fact people, exposed to something called his holy tears. A liquid compound I have seen in use even today is abandoned medical facilities. His holy tears purge the sin from the unclean and make them love him. At least that's what the label states. The records that were covered are very unclear about how this war was waged, except to state his holy chosen walked the lands of the sinful and took their sin onto themselves. Those who cried for his salvation received it and are now our children. Those who denied his love were purified in his radiance. But something apparently happened no one knew how to deal with: the unclean. The large creatures that are half a man and devour whatever they touch that lives and breathes. I actually found a scientific report written by someone who stumbled here with a 093 copy. These creatures are a result of exposure to a very pure form of his tears, resulting in a genetic apocalypse occurring within the exposed. There are terms in here, something about quantum restructuring. I don't understand any of this, but it means they were once humans like everyone else that couldn't be controlled, but they could be contained. They seem to be attracted to his tears at a central point, was established in various regions where a person with the purest form of his tears stays, keeping the unclean in that area known as an infertile land. Something went wrong with that too. Not sure what, but everything fell apart. The power structure, the culture, the people, all of it fell to ruins, and now those things shamble around the land as its new owners with no purpose or direction. You can stand next to one if you can stand the stink, and they just slip right past you. If you can catch their attention, though, that's it. They move like lightning if they need to, and like a snail unless they have a reason to speed up. Sometimes I think they chase just to do it, others they move to kill. I think someone is in the facility, or someone's. I keep hearing voices and requests coming from areas under the floor. I want to leave this before I explore the facility any further. I have sent 093 back through the entry mirror to seal the gate. These things can't be let into our world, nor should we have anything to do with this one. We're simply not smart enough to understand it at all, I feel. I don't think the unclean can die. They're immortal. But they don't want to be. They just want to die. They're in my head, I think. I didn't notice it until just now, but equipment in this room is starting to react to me. Words on the screen begging for help. I remember touching the tears, smelling it, tasting it, just a touch. Not eating it, just touching to it. Tasting for acidity. We have plenty of stupid investigative procedure, I think. The High Fathers are alive. They have technology we only imagine in our comics given by him. Some of the records on this machine indicate space travel, but they didn't go far, just far enough to watch the world fall apart and wait to come back and take it. But if they're up there, who is in this building with me? I've seen faces of the people, the unclean. They show up on the pictures cast by the machine in the room with me, watching me. I think they're everywhere in this world, only seen by machines now. They don't look sad or happy, just curious. They want to know why them, why did it all happen? I don't know. I just don't know. They showed me things when I touched them, and it's not like the records say. The unclean remember it all. Every person they touch becomes part of them. Safe inside them, but dead to us. Every mind, every feeling, every terror. It's eternal to them. I kind of want to join them, but too much to do. They want me to find him, kill him. There was no war. It was him. It came from between the folds of time and space. The world's in light and dark. Something that is but should not be slipped. And it called out to them as their god. They believed it, and they tasted it and touched it, and laid with it and become its property and did its will. And it is still here. The 093 I brought with it, pulled forcefully with it, built it. I don't know what they don't know, but it belongs to him. It lets him move between places, between worlds, so I broke it. I threw pieces of it away, through holes, so these doors are closed, just like ours. It's closed. I can't go home, so what else can I do? It calls through the rocks somehow. It knows where they are, but can't touch them. But if you hide the rock, he can't call out, and he's stuck too. I got you, son of a bitch. I got you. Bang, bang. Ha ha. I touched him with my fist and my gun, and he fell down. But he'll get back up soon. I'm sorry. I did all I could. Let me sleep now. Please let me sleep. Yep. I got back to 093, because that's everything.
Very nice.
That was a damn long read. Get license. Alright.
You didn't remember that it was long?
Jerry, you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello? Oh, wait, hold on. I think my mic's muted. Not my mic, my headset. Jerry, say something.
Stuff.
Oh my god, yeah. My headset was muted.
Did you know I actually said other things earlier? Like when you were saying like wrong, I kept trying to correct you.
No, because my headset was muted.
Yeah, I noticed.
Alrighty. So, Jerry, you'll see the thumbnail first.
Oh, goody.
Honestly, it's not as bad as you think.
Oh, that's actually pretty normal. Okay. I mean, that's inaccurate, but it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
As in, it's a little clickbaity, but not really.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Like maybe a 1.
Yeah, 1. Man, that's so nice. Being able to give something a 1.
Hey, content farm, you're doing better than Lucius. So when I was grabbing videos, there is one thing I did notice with some of them, at least the ones I collected so far. They're all the same. If you just go to the description here, do you see something missing?
Oh. Copyright.
It is copyrighted, which means when I bring up this special surprise, boom! Alright, so...
What's the boom?
The bingo.
Oh. Oh, nice.
So, we can do... Alright, where is it? No license given.
Hey.
Yep, alright, let's see. I'm not gonna hit clickbait thumbnail, because it's...
Yeah, it's not clickbait.
Yeah, it's not really. Edit video. Yeah, so we only got 1 so far.
All right, now let's watch the thing.
Yep.
Sometimes it seems like I live the same life over and over again.
What the hell?
Sometimes
Okay.
it seems like I live the same life over and over again. I dream of moments from the past, the crime I committed, and the punishment for it I am now forced to
Hey, why
bear.
don't I hear anything?
This is my personal hell I...
You have the stream muted?
Oh yeah, I do. Sorry. I was like, I have the volume all the way up. Why can't I hear it? It's on mute.
Yeah, that might help.
can no longer escape from. I get up. They have come for me again and are taking me to a room for another interrogation. When will it all end?
Honestly, the animation's
I've
not that
told
bad.
you everything. Don't you believe me?
Mr. Collins, I promise this will be our last conversation.
It's pretty okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turn on your camera.
This is the record of the interrogation of Stephen Collins. It is highly classified and is intended for study by personnel with the highest level of access. Mr. Collins, tell us everything
Wait.
from the beginning.
Stephen
As
Collins.
I've said before,
I don't think that was a character.
It was not a character.
Which
But there are a lot of characters with redacted names.
means I know I put it in here. I think. Number, click that. I don't need a pot. Wait. Oh, I just put character removal. I didn't put added unneeded plot. Oh, copyrights the video. I didn't even click that one. That's yeah. Okay, so never mind.
we were walking along the
I
beach
thought I
with my
had
dog, Tyson, when we found an abandoned house. It was practically falling down. I don't know why, but I was curious about what was in it. So I went in. It was an ordinary house. There was a mess inside. It seems like no one had lived there for a long time. And then, I heard Tyson barking at something. There was a large mirror lying right on the floor, and on it was some strange round object. It looked like a talisman or a pendant. Before I knew it, I had already stepped on that mirror and picked it up. As soon as I had it in my hands.
Talisman or pendant.
What was that?
I said no offense, I wouldn't call that a talisman or pendant.
Yeah.
It immediately began to glow purple. I fell in that same second, right inside the mirror. I found myself in a strange place. Tyson was barking furiously. I looked around and saw the hole through which I had fallen next to me. My dog was rushing around on the other side. It was impossible. The mirror I'd stepped on turned out to be a portal to some parallel reality. Where was I anyway? I decided to take a look around. There was a crumbled city nearby, and I headed there. All around me were broken windows, rusty cars, and piles of garbage. But I didn't meet a single living soul. The strangest thing was, nothing around me looked familiar. I didn't recognize the makes of the cars or the people on the advertising posters, and all the inscriptions were of a strange religious nature. I picked up a piece of yellow newspaper and read. In the direct address of His Holiness, it was said...
His tears looks, but...
Yeah, I think it was more brown. Remember correctly. Yeah.
That the blessed militia fought back many of the unclean... What kind of nonsense was that? There was an unbearable stench around. It seems like it was coming from some strange brown slime that was covering everything. I decided to film it on my phone, but then... I noticed movement at the end of the street. Just an indistinct shadow, but definitely of a person. It disappeared around the corner, and I ran after it. Was there really someone alive there? As I turned the corner, I noticed that the shadow had disappeared into an abandoned hospital. I followed it. The hospital was weird. I'd never seen anything like it. Unusual devices and tools were lying all around. Ugh, there were also terrible tanks with stinking liquid everywhere. Pipes cracked from age were leading to them. Pools of brown liquid were glistening here and there on the floor. I walked through a couple of floors of the hospital, but I didn't meet anyone. Maybe I just imagined it. I saw a computer in one of the offices. Strangely enough, it turned on. I took out several folders with documents from the desk and started to study them. The more I read, the stranger everything that was going on seemed.
What did you find out, Mr. Collins?
That place really wasn't...
I want to click this, because it pretty much is. Deviated plot.
Yeah, this is definitely a completely different plot.
And unneeded plot, because so far it's adding things that didn't happen.
Yeah.
This entire world. It was some sort of parallel reality. Judging by what I learned almost 350 years ago, it was visited by some godlike creature. No one knew where it had come from. The creature had given people advanced technologies and taught them how to use them.
Wait, he's reading the very last thing.
Yep, some random character that does not exist in the thing is talking about the last part that they found out.
Yeah, it was by a Foundation agent.
Yep.
Also said that their world was full of sin, and the only way to get rid of it was to purify all the sinners. A liquid called his tears had been used for that. All the sinners had been put in that liquid. But then, something had gone wrong. The sinners had started to mutate and turn into huge monsters after the cleansing. They had devoured all living beings. Soon, there was no one left on that earth, only the ghosts of former people and those giants.
What did you find out, Mr. Collins?
That's when I decided those were just ravings of a madman, but it still made me feel...
really public knowledge.
Yeah.
They were trying to say when they were put in the liquid that the sinners were saved or something. Not that they transformed into monsters.
Yeah.
I mean, they were transformed into monsters, but...
Mm-hmm.
Feel uneasy. I decided the time had come to end my crazy trip. After leaving the hospital, I went back. The stench was getting worse, and it became hard to breathe. I walked to the corner and threw up. I leaned against...
Now they're just mixing sense from the... I forgot what color. I think green, where the D-class vomited.
Yeah.
They're just mixing.
They're turning. I think it's okay to mark removal of characters since they're basically
the wall.
removing all the staff that entered and all the D class and combining them into this random guy that's not a D class and not a staff.
Yeah. Let's see. Character removal. So far, what I'm happy that we haven't seen is sexual content.
Yay! That would be weird to add here.
Yeah.
Wall and touched that brown slime by accident. Heck! It burned so much! I jumped back, tripped, and fell next to a wrecked car. I grabbed some rag lying on the hood. But what was it? It couldn't be. The rag turns out to be that dress!
What dress was it?
I've kept silent about it for a long time, but now I'm ready to tell you. 3 years ago, I was coming back from a party. I must have fallen asleep at the wheel. I woke up when I heard the car hit something. A girl had jumped out onto the road. I got away with it that time. My relative was investigating the case. He made everything go away. But I knew that someday I would have to answer for what I had done. I still remember her lying on the hood of my car, her dress, and red spots on it. Now, that same dress was lying on the hood of that wrecked car. It didn't just look similar. It was definitely the dress of that dead girl. How had it ended up there? I felt more scared
If he's
than ever.
talking about
At that moment,
hallucinations like
I
that, then
understood
why is
everything,
he
and a
outside
chill
of
ran
the
down my
mirror?
spine.
Yeah.
No offense, but he should have been stuck in that world as either dead or one of the quote-unquote sinners.
Yeah, I'm gonna click something because we were only talked about like only one. It was like abuse of a police officer that was mainly given detail, not
Yeah.
a woman.
It's weird added violence to something that's already violent and dark.
Yeah. We haven't gotten gore yet, because we didn't see like guts bursting from the woman.
Yeah,
from the
let's
head.
please, no, please.
Yeah.
I'd ended up in hell. The one they used to scare me with as a child. Damn it! I wasn't going to stay there a second longer. So, I rushed to the portal. My eyes were watering from the stench. I turned on my camera and immediately cried out in surprise. There were shadows on the street ahead of me. Those very ghosts. They stared at me. I started running around the corner,
Aren't shadows
but there were
supposed
even
to
more
look
of them there.
black, not white?
Yeah, they're supposed to be black. Wait, did they race swap the shadows?
They race swapped the shadows.
That's a weird statement to say.
How else would you call it?
I don't know.
Shadows cannot look like shadows, they must look like light people. Oh, just saying that out loud sounds so weirdly racist. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
There, they were so
continue.
close. I could even see their faces, tired and indifferent. Leave me alone, I shouted. Get away from me. At that moment, I heard a door slam, and a guy in an orange jumpsuit appeared in the alley.
What?
He was alive.
What?
Shut up. You can't shout here, he hissed angrily. Ghost, they're all around me. I barely managed to mumble. They won't do anything to you. But when giant monsters come, attracted by your screams, we're done. That guy grabbed me and started dragging me along. We found ourselves in a small room under old pipes. It was obvious that he had been living there for a very long time. He was very strange.
So
I
they
can't explain
removed
why.
all the SCP characters that had gone in and then added a random SCP character, a random D class.
Yep.
But he seemed very familiar to me. It was like I'd met him before. I'd asked what his name was, but he just said, "It doesn't matter. Now, I am forever Subject D,
Oh, pause it. Let's see if the
43093.
number exists in the 43093.
That starts for 2. 5. 8. Oh yeah, it's 2. Yeah, 'cause the next 2 are done by Foundation personnel. So 2, 5, and 8 it starts off with. So no, that character does not exist.
Okay, they've made up a random D class to replace the D class they removed. Okay, yeah, okay.
Well, there was another D class, but their number wasn't stated. Oh, well, 2 actually. Their numbers
Well,
aren't
what
stated.
genders were the 2 without the number stated?
They just call them subjects in the article, so it's completely unknown.
Okay. Let's continue watching the video.
I wonder if that's Connor's number. You know, like the Immortal D class.
Okay, let me look up.
I would not be surprised. I'm just saying that because of how popular Connor is.
I'm just looking up very, very quickly. It doesn't seem like it ever shows his number.
Gotcha. Alright, I guess we can continue then.
Yeah.
3. That guy was from the personnel of your foundation. He'd realized it was actual hell as soon as he had been sent there. Your scientists had decided to not risk themselves and put a test subject no one would care about inside the portal. That's why he had decided to run away. During one of the experiments, he had unfastened the rope and hidden it in a basement. He'd lived there for several years, hiding from monsters and finding food for himself.
This sounds like
weird,
a warped
but it
version
felt like he'd
of
been waiting
one
for
of
me.
the people who entered.
Yeah,
Only
As
that
soon as I'd
person
caught my breath-
definitely is gone.
yeah.
He got up and said, "We have to go. The portal may close soon." We started on our way. We walked through yards and alleys.
Wait, he finished speaking, yet was still,
So it's not
the
twi-
animation was still going.
Yeah. And now they've teleported outside and are running.
Right, No, I did not add bad animation. Which is fair, because I think I wanted to keep AI in, because that's been something that's been happening.
We tracked the ghost
You can
attention.
add
I was looking
bad
around using my
animation in the
smartphone.
next bingo.
From time to time, I saw some lone shadows. But when we got out of the city, we found ourselves surrounded by them. They were looking at us and, what the hell, pointing fingers at us. I needed to get out of there. And then, I thought, how had that guy in the orange jumpsuit known where to go? After all, I hadn't told him where the portal was, but I
What?
didn't have the time to ask him that. At that moment, a giant shadow covered us. I looked up and saw something right above me. It was a huge half of a human body as high as a 5-story house. It was getting close to us, leaning on its hands and, it seemed like, sniffing. "Run!" shouted my friend wildly, and we took off. I heard heavy
He
footsteps that
raised
shook the
swamp
ground
the
behind
unclean
us.
too, 'cause they're
The
supposed to
monster
be
was chasing
brown.
us, just a little further,
Yes,
and we would
they
be
raised
saved.
swapped it.
But then, out of the corner of my eye,
They
I
raised
saw a
swapped
huge
the
hand darting out in our
amalgamation of
direction. A
suffering.
second, and I
Because
would be done
suffering
for.
needs to look white, not brown. Oh, that sounds so bad. That sounds so bad.
All of a sudden, I stumbled and fell. The giant's hand flew right by me and grabbed that guy in the orange jumpsuit. "No, God, no!" he shouted, horrified. I saw that monster press him to himself, and the poor guy started to sink into the giant's body. He was being sucked into the deep, sticky brown slime. It clung to him, and he screamed in pain. Don't agree to work with them," was the last thing I heard before he completely disappeared inside the monster. For a moment, the monster froze, as if digesting my poor friend, and then it reached out towards me again. I realized that if I didn't run right that second,
Huh?
I wouldn't call that guy a friend.
Yeah.
I would be next. With the last of my strength, I rushed to the portal. 10 meters. I saw a huge hand flash by my
I'm
side.
just gonna
5
comment you
meters.
wouldn't have been able to make it.
Yeah, you would be dead.
It's
I
faster
suddenly
than
felt-
that.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Myself being squeezed from all sides and lifted into the air. I screamed in horror. But then, I saw people in military uniforms jump out of the portal. They started shooting somewhere above me.
They
For a
wouldn't have been
second,
affected by
the
the
monster's
bullet.
huge
They
palm
wouldn't have
opened,
cared.
and I felt
Yeah, they would be more pissed off.
It wouldn't have dropped him. It wouldn't have been affected. It's not harmed by bullets.
Yeah, it would probably just cling on to me and walk forward to the other soldiers. It would
I'd probably stuff him inside and then go to them.
yeah.
Like, ooh, direction.
fell down. When I got up, I saw it shrink back a little from the bullets.
Anyone watching
And then
this, just so you know, shooting at it will not make it pause. It will not make it drop people. It will not make it get hurt in any way. There will not be actual marks on its face.
Okay, I want to go back because something just started making me laugh.
Where
Just
above
wait
me.
for it.
For a second, the monster's huge palm opened, and I fell down. When I got up,
Look,
I saw it shrink back a
they're
little from
just
the
they're just shooting straight up this way and this way.
That is such horrible animation. Like, we're dancing behind you, we're dancing with our guns, and that somehow gets the bullets inside the unclean one. Oh my gosh. Did I just do the bad video song?
Maybe.
bullets, and then stretched its huge hand towards us once more. Someone grabbed me by the collar from behind and pulled me through the portal. The last thing I saw on the other side of the mirror was huge fingers disappearing in the cold
It would
hell.
have taken an hour.
I found myself back in the abandoned house. People in protective suits were moving a disc into a small mirror box.
That's
Everything
not
around us was
protective
covered
suit.
with film and tape.
It's hazmat suits. Also, it threats the object wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna be burn right through your hand. Like you can pick it up safely. You don't need to be in a hazmat suit.
No one would be in a hazmat suit.
Tape with the inscription SCP. Well, you already know what happened next. Damn it! They had locked me up and been interrogating me for 2
I
weeks
also said
already.
that.
But you know what? It was better than staying in that lousy place.
Mr. Collins, you do understand that you are going to get a life sentence for the crime you've kept silent about for 3 years?
A life sentence. Are you serious? After everything I've been through, you have no right! I have already redeemed myself when I got out of that hell with monsters alive!
Not quite,
Honestly,
Mr. Collins.
you wouldn't get a life sentence for killing someone.
Yeah.
It's a really shitty thing to do, but you wouldn't randomly get a life sentence for it. Especially since it was clearly an accident. He
Yeah.
even admitted it was an accident. I mean, it was shitty to cover it up, but accidental murder does not get you a life sentence.
Yeah.
But you can redeem yourself.
How? How the hell else am I supposed to do that?
You can agree to cooperate with the SCP Foundation and take part in our experiments. You will only be free after several years
SCP
of working
Foundation
for
are
us.
full of heartless,
Wait.
cold assholes. But we will not lie. They do not lie and say you will have a life sentence unless you do these things for us.
Yeah.
That's not what happens.
Also,
They use people who actually have life sentences for actual reasons.
yeah. Here's another thing, and I'm sure you picked it up, Jerry. She said 7 years instead of a month. The E-Class are told a month.
Yeah.
She said 7 years.
So she's basically been lying out of her teeth the
Yep.
entire time.
Yep.
When we
The
decide that you
Foundation
have
doesn't
paid
lie
for
to
it.
people like that. They would lie to people they need to, but they don't need to lie to him. He's gonna be dead.
Yeah.
Everything in full.
Just say
That's when I
honestly.
made another mistake.
You will get a
I didn't
few
want to
years
spend the
of
rest of
jail
my life
time,
rotting behind the bars.
and we
So,
can cut it
I
down
agreed
to a
without
month if you just work for us for a month, and
Yeah.
then we'll let you free. That is more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And signed the papers. I was given an orange jumpsuit and registered under the number D43093. Stop! What the? It doesn't matter. Now, I am forever subject D43093. I've
Are
already
you
seen that
fucking
number.
kidding me?
Don't agree. Don't agree to work with them. It couldn't be. It turns out that had been me.
I'm sorry, there's no weird time issues in that world. You don't get to. Going into the alternate universe does not mean you get to travel through time. That's not what's going on. That's not. Oh.
So far, I don't think we're gonna get a bingo.
No, but this is definitely not a good SCP like video.
Oh my god.
No, not again. Let me go. I'm not going back there.
You'll end up there anyway.
Those bastards tied a safety rope to me and pushed me right into the mirror. So, here I am again. I hate this place. I'm not a lab rat. No, not again. I have to break
Well,
this
if you
endless
cut
circle.
the rope, it'll
I just need to wait
happen
until that other
again.
me appears.
Yeah.
This time, it will be in for a surprise, and I will be the first to get to that damn portal. He won't stand a chance.
And that's it.
That's so stupid.
Alright, let's get our bingo board. Yeah.
Removal of characters and license would be 4.
Yeah. So
They
we get.
didn't keep any of the characters.
Wait, hold on. I need to see something. Wait.
Uh.
Oh my god. Okay,
What?
that's useful. I don't know why OBS is doing that. But apparently on YouTube videos, the bingo board shows itself on OBS. But on the spreadsheet, it doesn't.
Nice.
I don't
That's
know
weird.
why.
I don't get it, but
Yeah, I don't get it either, but that's useful.
yeah.
Take it. Alright, removal character's license. 4. They did both.
Yeah. Added gore or violence.
Not as bad as Professor Lucius.
It's like a 1.
Yeah.
Deviates from the plot 4.
Yeah. That's pretty fun. And it actually wasn't a way, it was slightly offensive.
They removed literally every woman in the article possible, and they somehow
Yeah.
race swapped the unclean. All the unclean. So 4.
Yeah. Alright. So hold on. Let me get the percentage.
I didn't expect weird racism against a fantasy race, but here we are.
Honestly, not bad for a first one. 30%. That's not bad. Right, Jerry? It's not bad.
It's 30%. You can say it's not bad when it's 50%, which I feel like is still a very low bar. Dr. Lucius left us with a low bar, okay?
Yeah.
But they still need to cross that low bar for me to call it all right.
Yeah, just wait for the Meat Baby episode. Sorry. I just gave you Vietnam flashbacks.
You gave me flashbacks, not of Vietnam, but of something.
Yeah.